Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, January 29, 2024, here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I have a good amount of things to share today, so it's going to be fun. So we can just jump right in. I don't think I have anything to share that I got. Oh, yes, I do. I was gifted a Heaven and Earth Designs chart by Needleberry Stitcher, and you didn't need to, but it's really fun. So she gave me Winter Cookie Party, which is one that I talked about in a recent Flosstube Stitch With Me video that I did. This one and like the Fair Food are two new ones by Amy Stewart. They're just so pretty. So we both have plans this year to do other things. So maybe a 2025 new start along with Catherine. So that would be fun. Thank you. Other than that, I think it's just what I worked on this week. So let's jump in with that. I worked on my temperature turtles yesterday, and I'm here in January's turtle close to being done because we're almost done with January. Here is my little guy. This is 28 count Caribbean Blue Jovelin 1/1 faux cross. And it's so tiny. Just have 4 days left there in January, so this coming Sunday I'll finish these up, add the backstitching lines that kind of just make it more distinct patches, and hopefully get a start on February. So that will be fun. And just so you know, if any of you are doing these, I do have the turtles pattern has instructions for February 29th on the instructions page, and the tree has a charted leaf that's extra. Not every pattern has an obvious change for leap year, but I did do a few videos back of recommendations for each of them. So if you're curious what to do on February 29th, you can go look at that video, and hopefully that will help. With my cats and hearts, I've been working on as travel stitching, and it's coming along. I'm very excited. This is the January one, and it's getting pretty close. So I'm really hoping to finish this week. We'll see. I do have the last week was also not a whole lot of traditional waiting time after school. I think I'll have a little bit more time again this week. So hopefully I can get this done this week. It's real close. And I also worked on this during a Zoom call with the Magazine Monthly Challenge group, so that was fun to get a little bit more progress on it. Here's where we got to. This is on 25 count white even weave 1/1 full cross. So I got a little bit more done in the cat, and I got more colors done. I'm color completing. There's 6 different shades of this like tealy blue color, and it's funny because the first 3 colors, I did the lightest ones first. There's a significant amount of colors. I think I did the second lightest color first because that one seemed to be everywhere, so it was easy to count. Then I did the lightest color, then I went back to the next darkest, and then, but the 4th darkest color was quick, very quick to do. I was like skipping around all over the place to like get that one in, and now this 5th darkest color is also very sparse. And I think right like over here it's still missing, so it doesn't look quite as detailed. But so the last darkest color has, just like these other 2 dark colors, limited cross stitching, but there will be a lot, like a significant amount of back stitching as well in that dark color. So should be fun. So I have like 1.5 blues left, and then the rest of the cat to finish. And then, if all goes well, I would love to be able to start February before I see you again. So we'll see if that happens. This is a nice way. The cats are in different positions in each of the months, but it's still close to the center. So if I want to, I can start on the colors and the cat, like, because the center's like right there. So that's perfect. But I'm excited to do pinks and greens because those are fun colors. So I'm excited about that. And I also have a little bit of progress on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Stitch Along. This is the Castle Homecoming Club. And I believe the last part will come out on Thursday this week. So whatever they have charted here for the sky will come out on Thursday. That'll be the last part. Then I'm giving myself through the end of this calendar year to finish this. So I hope I can do that. I made some good progress up here in the border, which is fun. So that hopefully well, obviously it will be. I'm in the border now. I'll be in the border for another few weeks probably. And then I can just drop down into the sky and move down from there, which will be great because by then the sky stuff will be out. So here this is on 28 count Ice Blue Lugana 1/1 full cross with a fancy floss color conversion, and I worked up in the top. So everything in the top corner, this whole corner is finished now. And then I did this scroll work. There's, I think, some more flowers under here, as well as then the shield is like right here. So that's fun. Yeah, so it's fun to do. I like all the colors. It is a little bit darker than the called for, but so far it's been fun to work on. And I like patterns like this that I can play with just the colors that I have in my stash. And what I do is I pull out all the called for DMC and then look through the boxes I have of hand dyes in all the different brands and kind of just see what looks like it'll work closely to that. And if worst case scenario, I can just stick with the DMC if something is really not working. I think I'm doing that with the grays in the castle. The darkest gray, I'm just sticking with the DMC because I needed like a range of 4 different grays that looked nice together on the castle bricks. And I just didn't have that many that all worked harmoniously with each other. So I just stuck with the DMC for one of them. And yeah, and that works great. I also did a tiny bit on my Shine On, Shine Bright sampler. It was originally Shine On in the back of this book. But I'm doing the Shine Bright colorway put together by the Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm working in my February section, which hopefully I can finish this week or next week. I'd like to finish it towards the beginning of February. And just a little bit. I think I worked on it one day. This is 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm doing it 1/2 with the called for Ari floss. And I think, yeah, just one day I put this this teal color in there. So all that's left is like, there's like pinks and things on the inside of both of those. So that'll be next. And that'll be fun. Shouldn't take too long to finish that section. It's a little bit smaller section, which maybe was by design because they knew February is a short month. So, because March's is a little big. March is a long month again. So that works. I think that's all my bonus stuff. I filmed on Tuesday last week. So the first main project I worked on was Visit Endor. This was finishing up my Brringo board. I got a Blackout. Yay! And I don't remember what all these prompts were. Let me see if the 23rd was a project that has words in it. So this one has words at the bottom. I haven't gotten to them yet, but it does look like a vintage travel poster. So there are some words at the bottom. And I did not as much on this day. It was a Bible study day, so that tends to limit my stitching time because I'm gone for a lot in the evening. But I got 366 half stitches on this on Tuesday, and actually finished a color as well. So this is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco 2/1 half stitches, and it's now at 57.63%. Total in January over the 2 days I gave it 1,411 stitches, so not too shabby. One of the colors I finished was one of these in the hills, so that was nice. So this will come out for 2 days in February as well, and I think, not yet, but it will be next week. I'll bring it out for 2 days next week. In my plans, I'll go over that. It would normally be a Monday, Tuesday. All my family pieces are going to get a Monday, Tuesday throughout the year, but I'm doing something a little different in February, and I'll share that at the end. On the 24th, I worked on Halloween Fairy for the second time. This is one of the WhipGo calls I have for my non-full coverage WhipGo board. This is by Nora Corbett, and this one was called for, so the prompt for this one was a Whipper New Start with a bird, and this has an owl in it, so that worked. This one I managed to get a good amount of beading in, which was fun to do. So here is this one. This is on 32 count, Mushroom Slushy by Fabric Flare, 2/2 full cross. So it's the kind that's printed on one side and model-y looking on the other side. So I did all the beads in her bodice, which was really fun. And then came over here and started working on the beginnings of the banner that she's holding. So all of this is some Krynic, some beads. This is all Krynic, the start of the word trick right there. And then I started in on one length of thread of DMC in her dress. So that was pretty good. That's very fun. There's more to this pattern than I expected. I think at one point this was kind of on a focus for a finish, but I think that'll need to be a little bit farther down the road because I'm still on the top half of the design. There's more on the bottom that I haven't even gotten to. So, but it's fun. It's fun to work on that one. I also worked on my last Brringo call was Winter Montage, which was something with a non-USA designer. And this one is charted by Pain-Free Crafts, which is based in the UK. So that's this one, Winter Montage by Janet Stever. And I'm up here in all of these holly berries and holly leaves. And this one, I also did a Stitch With Me video while I was working on it in the morning for some bonus time, which was great. Because my husband went out to lunch with his friend, and it's a different friend than he's had lunch plans with previously. And this one might be more frequent. So that would be great, because I would love to do more of these Stitch With Me videos and just kind of pull out either whatever my main project is for the day and get a head start on it, or one of my like bonus travel pieces, depending on what might be easier to work on while I'm talking. But yeah, it was really fun to do this again. And here is where I got to. I did work on this more in the evening after the Stitch With Me video. So I got 406 stitches on this. This is 28 count white Lugana 1/1 full cross. And it's at 2.36% now. I do have this slated for one more day here in January to get it the 4th day of the month, because I am going to do, it's technically for Seasonal Sunday, but because of Brringo, it just kind of ended up all over, and I had room on my Brringo board for it 3 times. So the 4th time for the 4th Sunday will be on the 31st. So I'll work on it on a Wednesday. That's okay. So it'll come out one more time in January, and it will get another 4 days in February as well. So that'll be fun, because I'm going to do my montage pieces for 2 months of Seasonal Sundays this year. And the 3rd month of the season will be Celtic Ladies Collage that I'm working on as well. So that's fun. I don't think that's coming out this week. No. Yeah, it's getting three Sundays in February plus a bonus day. So that'll be fine. I'll make sure it gets 4 days. And then on Friday was the 26th, I mean, so now Brringo is officially over. And I decided at the last minute to start Quaker USA flag by Vivsters on Etsy. And this was being started, probably the Australia version of this. This is the American version. On the 26th because it's Australia Day, or was Australia Day. So they had the day off, and our time zones are so different because I'm in the West Coast. So I'm almost the exact opposite of them. I woke up on the 26th and I already saw pictures in my Instagram of Australians who had completely finished their stitching time for the day, and I was just waking up. And my stitching time wasn't even about to start yet for a while. So we didn't actually stitch on it at the same time, but I did mine on my 26th and I really had fun. I worked on it on the 27th as well. And here's my start. This is on Vintage Country Mocha, 40 count, and 1/2. I'm stitching with 939 is I think the only called for color, which is the outline of these. And I switched my white to B5200. It was called for Blanc, but it seemed like it wasn't quite dark enough against the fabric. For these squares, they're going to be full coverage squares with the blue and the white together, but on the stripes, the white will be white on fabric, like this, where it's just stitching on fabric, no background. So I wanted to make sure the white would stand out on its own for these stripes. So I switched that to B5200, and then my red and blue are some Victorian Motto, Garden Rose, and Blue Sampler. So I'm loving that. They're so pretty. I really liked the red. It just has a little bit of movement, and the blue looks pretty too. So I'm happy with that. And I had somebody comment on my last video, my last update video. They were starting this on February 29th for a leap year start and hoping to get it done in 4 years, which I know people did last leap year. They had a leap year start and we're hoping to get it done by the following leap year. And I am a little bit torn because I love that idea, but I also don't know if it's realistic. But it would be fun since this was kind of a bonus new start. I had 12 main starts planned for this year, and this one I just kind of threw in there. So it's a little bit like a bonus day, like leap year, even though it's not February 29th. I started it on in a leap year. So I do have it. It does work in Pattern Keeper. And if I do it's a little less than 700 stitches every month, I could get it done in 4 years, which is a lot of stitching to commit to. This month, I did a total of 951, so that's pretty good. It's at 2.86% now. I don't have room in my schedule to give it full days, so I might just have to kind of throw it in little bits here and there. So I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but that would be really cool. If I could get that done by 2028, that'd be cool. We'll see. And then on Sunday, I worked on my secret stitch, and the last time I worked on it was like October, November. So pulling it out again, I knew it's fairly small, but it is a Teresa Wentzler, spoiler. And so there's lots of details. So I was like, well, I will probably need some time. So originally I was going to give it 4 days to finish. And then I started the Quaker flag, gave that 2 days. So I only have 2 days left to finish this. And I actually got it done yesterday in 1 day, which was amazing because I just kept working on it. It's fairly small, but because of all the details, I wasn't sure. But everything just went really smoothly. I had a good amount of stitching time and it's done. Yay! So I will film a separate video of that. I bought a cute little frame for it and I'm going to gift it. And then once it's been received, I will share that in the next update video. So you will get to see it in a little bit, maybe a week or two. And yeah, so instead of my next focus on a finished piece is Dragon Ride, but I kind of want to wait until February to start that. So I decided we're switching to plans now, but I decided I want to pull out Tulip House one more time. here in this bonus day. This is my new start to this year, and I kind of want to finish this flower. Ideally, even all the back stitching of the flower. That would be fun. So this is by Cross Stitch Patterns on Etsy, and patterns is spelled in the shop with only one T. But it's very, very pretty. And I thought about working on Cats and Hearts to get that finished, or spending some more time on my Shine Bright sampler. But I kept coming back to this. I wanted to give this a little bit more time because it got 2 days, which is all my new starts are slotted for this year, but I have a bonus day. Let's do it. So I'll work on that today. Yes, today. Woohoo! I'm excited. So here's my starting point on this one. This is on 32 count ice blue linen, 2/2 full cross, unless it's called for a half stitch, and then it's a 2/2 half stitch. So I want to get this flower finished. Ideally, that would be super fun. So I last time I worked on this, I kind of worked my way to the top. So this is the very top of the design. And so if I manage to finish the flower, I'll fill in more sky and things along the top. So yeah, that'll be fun. Give it some more, because when I finished working on this, I was like, oh, I want to do more. So let's do it. And then on Tuesday, I need to do one more day on my African Woman with Peonies for my Whipco draw on my full coverage board. I need one more day on this. So I only did 1 day on the Brringo board because I could only figure out how to fit it into one prompt. So here is my starting point on this one. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim. And I have some blue on my thread that was in this flower. So my first stop will be to finish the thread in her headscarf, and then I'll come back to pick some more symbols in here, you know, to see where those symbols are going to go. So that's fun. I'll give that time tomorrow. And then the winter montage will get Wednesday for my final day on that here in January. Then we move over into February. And February is full coverage February, which is hosted by Colette, the Highway Stitcher. She's going to have prompts on Instagram for you to answer questions related to full coverage. And she also is doing an acrostic with the word confetti. And so I'm going to do that as well, just the acrostic, and then the rest of the month will be whatever I want to do. But I already had a planned start on the 1st. So I'm going to give my start 2 days, and then I'll start my acrostic. So the start will be Jardin Privé's Sampler of Flowers. And starting this with Carolyn over at Seeds Oak Stitch. And I am going to do mine on the rest of the piece of Morganite linen that I'm doing my Shine Bright sampler. And I have converted it to Soie d'Alger silks because I'm curious to see how the coverage will be on 40 count 1/2. So I'm excited. It's gonna be really fun. So that'll be started on Thursday, and I'll give that Thursday and Friday. Then the acrostic will start. So I have my February all planned out. I'm gonna do my acrostic, which is 8 days long, the word confetti. And then I'm going to fill in my seasonal Sunday, my family pieces, all my Whipco pieces, and my focus piece of Dragon Ride in all the days that are left in February. For the most part, I'll show you things as they come up for what I'm going to be stitching on that week, since like I usually do, but I didn't get to do that in January because I didn't know what I was going to be working on when because of Brringo, but now I have it all planned out. I know what days are going to be what. So the first day of my confetti, I'll be working on Lollipop for my daughter. This is one of my family pieces. She's going to get another day on the 19th. So only 1 day in the acrostic, but this stands for C for clouds. And especially right now I'm up here in the clouds. So I thought that worked really well. And here's my starting point on this, because I'll work on this on Saturday. this is 40 count Vertical 1/1 half cross, and that's my starting point. Then the next two letters, the O and the N, are both Bear Time Stories, and I thought it worked out really fun that Bear Time Stories and Visit Endor both happened to fit next to each other in the acrostic. I wasn't necessarily planning that, but worked out great because then I could just work on them back to back and not have to pull them out again. So Bear Time Stories will come out on Sunday, so I'll show that to you now as well. And this is by Heaven and Earth Designs. Randall Spangler is the artwork. And the O is for open book, and the N is for nighttime, because it looks like they're reading a bedtime story. So that's how I fit the acrostic with that. Here's my starting point. And this is also 1/1 half cross on 40 count Vertical. And yeah, that's my starting point. I'm doing it extreme cross country. Currently, I'm currently picking symbols with the colors with the least amount of stitches, so I'm ticking those off as I go, which is really fun. Then I'll just show you the cover pages for the other things that I'm planning to work on, so that if you are curious how to fit projects into the acrostic, maybe this will help you. So I'm going to go ahead and work on Simpsons for one day. It's technically full coverage. I'm just not stitching it full coverage. And Colette said that was fine. There's really no rules here. So I'm stitching on my Simpsons piece because they're a family. So that's F for family. And I'll show the befores of the rest of these things later when it's closer to when I'm going to stitch them. E and T are both Visit Endor, E for Endor, and T for trees, because there's trees in that piece. And then the second T, I'm going to work on Harmony, which is one of my Whip Go pieces on my full coverage board. This one's also technically full coverage, but I'm not stitching the background, but it still counts. So this is the Harmony freebie that used to be up on Heaven and Earth Designs website. So I'll work on that for the T, and it also will get a second day. Simpsons will get its second day on the 12th, and Harmony will get its second day on the 22nd. The other Whip Go draw for full coverage for February was the library. So I'm going to work on that on the last day of the acrostic, the letter I for inside. So this is Minnie the Library Max Colors, and she's inside. That's how I made that one fit. And she'll get her second day on the 15th. So, because all of my Whip Go calls are going to have, my personal goal is 2 days on each one. I also, my Whip Go pieces on my non-full coverage board are Once Upon a Time by Lavender and Lace, which I'm excited to get back to. I started that last year, so it's got a small start. It'll be fun to give that some more time. And Cross Stitch Fun by Kesslins, which I pulled out for one day on my Brringo board last month. So I'm so excited to pull that out again for two days and make even more progress on that. So those are fun. You'll see those later in the month. And Dragon Ride will be my focus piece for it starting in February. I don't know that I'll finish it in February, but it will get 7 days in February. So we'll see how far I get. There's a lot going on with Teresa Wenser pieces. So we'll see how far I can get, and maybe hopefully at least finishing it up in March. So we'll see how that goes. I guess that's everything. I'm excited about this week and finishing up my plans for February and finishing up January, launching into February. It's going to be really fun. So hopefully you have a good time with whatever you're working on, and happy stitching. Bye.